Hi everyone, I am Mahima and today we will be seeing how to list products on your Onbuy with the help of Commercium. Before going ahead, let me show you a product which was created on Shopify, and with the help of listing rules and listing plans, we have created it on Onbuy. For creating listing rules and listing plans under products, go to listing rules and plans. Here, select your platform which is Onbuy. Let's create several rules. The first rule is the title description mapping rule. Here you can click on add new rule button to create a new rule, and you can click on the pencil icon to see the existing rule. Firstly, we have to provide a rule name and then we can pass the title and the description as it is. Here we can use the AI powered content optimization if we want to remove the HTML, if we want to translate it to any other language, and if we want to do the rephrasing and we have to enter the character limit of the title. We can do the same with the description and we can click on save changes. The next is the price modifier rule. If in case you want that your products which are present on your primary store should have a increase or a decrease on the price when listed on OnBuy, you can create a price modifier rule here. You can add an increase or decrease by a flat amount or a percentage. The next and the most important rule is the category mapping rule. Here we map the rule with the help of categories of your products which you want to get listed. Here we first have to provide the rule name and then we have to provide the parent category followed by all the subcategories, and then it's important to map the attributes. Attributes basically are the fields which are present in your primary store which needs to be mapped correctly. Here, in case if there are mandatory fields present, you have to map them correctly and click on save changes. The next rule is the brand field mapping rule. If in case you want to map the brand of your product, you can select this rule and you can do the mapping. The next is the color field mapping rule. You can add the color for your product using this rule. The next rule is the dimension unit. Of course, as the name suggests, this rule is for entering the unit for the dimensions of your product. The next rule is the height field mapping rule. If in case you want to enter the height for your product, you can use this rule. For the product, if you want to enter the length, you can use the length field mapping rule. You can enter the material for your product and you can map it with the material field mapping rule. The next is the weight field mapping rule. If you want to enter the weight for a product, you can enter it by creating a weight field mapping rule. The next is the weight unit field mapping rule. If you, in case you want to enter the unit of your weight, you can use this rule. And the last one is the width field mapping rule. If you want to enter the width of a product, you can use this rule. Among these rules, the point to be noted is this all rules are important to be mapped. The only rule which we can skip is the color field mapping rule and the material field mapping rule. Except these rules, all rules need to be configured. Once we create the listing rules, it's important to go to listing plans. Listing plans are basically the trigger for a product to be listed. Let's see one of the listing plans. Here, the first thing which you need to do after clicking on listing plan is to give a name for a listing plan. Then you can select the product criteria on what basis you want your product to be get listed. Here you can select category, you can select SKUs, you can select price, whatever you want. Then you have to click on listing rules and you have to select all the required rules here. Once you select all the rules, you have to click on save. Once you are completed with your listing rule and listing plans, it's mandatory to go to your integrations, select your on-buy settings, and toggle on your product synchronization. Remember to toggle this product synchronization only when your listing rules and listing plans are complete. Now, how to see the products which are created on OnBuy? Here we have this filter name as primary sync status. If you click on created, you'll see the product which are already created on your on buy with the help of commercial. And if you click on error, you'll see the product which are not listed due to some errors. Thank you so much.